What is going on, you guys? This is your boy here again, Dean, and I'm doing a deck profile over the deck I brought to Toronto. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, straight up at the beginning, I did extremely poorly. But I don't believe the deck is too bad. But if you're wondering, wow, how do you do that while also, putting up some ass-tier results? I'm a little bit of a story first. That's why I got this digital client up here. So I'm a longtime player of digital, okay? If we go here on my profile, we're gonna, hide the webcam real quick. We see here 7,934 wins, and look at that, 2,534 Runecraft games, with the second closest being 1,169 Sword. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I probably lie to myself a lot when it comes to how viable a Runecraft deck is. I'm willing to play it even when it's not the best choice. I just wanted to come out there and just say that, because if somebody's like, oh, dude, Kuon sucks this format, this, that, everything in between, just know I'm biased. I'm willing to admit it. It is what it is. It's also why I leaned a little heavier into it. In testing, it was a deck that it just resonates with me more than other decks in the game. It's just how I am. So while testing, I found this Kuon list. It was kind of like a do-nothing Kuon list, and we're going to go over here and see that thing so I can zoom in on it. And if you don't know these cards, I mean, they're all in the actual deck, but the reason is this is the shell that I built off of. And we've got a bunch of spells here, and then we've got the Kuons, and we got the D-Shifts, and we got this Prophetess of Creation. I did not know if I liked this card initially, when I was thinking about it, and I tested this list once or twice, or I tested some other lists with her. I didn't appreciate it, but then I started to realize I was getting the spell chain 10 as early as turn 5, quite consistently, and she was just helping push me over that one extra spell chain I would need to be able to Eleanor Evo and get this, the Splendid Conjury to the X area for free, to be able to do mass board removal, or to be able to Crimson Meteor Storm a puppet board like an Anastasia. It was very easy for me to clear Anastasia in some of the test games, and so I really didn't mind the puppet matchup as much, because you clear the Anastasia, they wouldn't immediately kill you on 6, and then you would just walk it home on 7 pretty consistently. And maybe I should have locked in this 40, but I was having some problems, and it had to do with, as you notice, there's no Chain of Calling, and there's no Merlin, and there's no real incremental chip damage before the Kuon D-Shift turn. So if you're not double D-Shifting, you would need triple Kuon to single D-Shift, or Kuon plus Flame Destroyer is 20 with the D-Shift, but you don't really have chip damage outside of Crimson Meteor Storm. There's no, Demon Caller that might magically stick and stick a 3 or a 4. There is purely draw and nothing else. There's nothing else. So I was having consistent problem with closing out games, or maybe finding the last piece to close out the game. But I was not really wanting to cut a card in the deck, because everything here is we've got the insights, we have the meta production. That's just another insight in your opener, right? We need to have the snipes for the aggressive matchups, or to maybe help ping down something so the Crimson Meteor Storm can actually full clear a puppet board. The Surefire is good. Sorcery Cache is speed. Verdict Discovery is insane. But that was Verdict Discovery is the only card that's helping us find our followers. Curse Crafter, that's probably the card you actually take out of this deck if you wanted something. But overall, I was very impressed with it. I did like the Flame Destroyer as just a 4th guy that kind of helps you get there. And then, yeah, him plus Kuon, he represents even more damage, since the Kuon's only a 5/5 on the second one. And I like the triple D-Shift because it was resilience against 2-cost Abyss, which I just don't respect as a deck. And the results in Toronto kind of tell you it's not the best. That's going to be my thing. That's my Nat Sword for this format, is going to be 2-cost Abyss. I don't think that deck's the best. Puppets, though, pretty real. So, yeah, before the event, I'm playing the deck a little bit, and I'm like, man, I need Chain of Calling, because it's a 1 mana spell in the mid game. By the time it's turn 5 or 6, I can play this thing for 1 mana and be able to find the followers in my deck. But then also, I needed the follow-up. I needed the follow-up in when the Kuons get answered or something happens against Lysina, just something to help me get a little more damage. So I included also 2 Merlins. So see, 44 cards. 2 Merlins, I think they need to go on the deck. I don't want 3 Merlins. Why? Because I don't want to play Merlin every game. I want to have Merlin for some games in the early game at most. Just to magically, you know, get like an extra hand or 2, search a Trail of Light, recast this thing, you know, deep draw a little bit. And I want it for the, like, post-D-shift turn. This is not like a card I want to actively be playing. I don't want to ever see 2 Merlins in my hand, because it does slow down your spell chain. This deck is really good at generating a lot of spell chain. Every card generates as much spell chain as you have mana, and I think that's, like, the big benefit of it, right? This is 2 spell chain for 2 mana. This is 2 spell chain for... Well, sorry, this isn't, but I guess with Eleanor on Evolve is 2 spell chain for 3 mana. This is 2 for 2. This is 1 for 1. And even meta production, you know, I didn't know if it was good, but it is. It's really good. It's 1 for 1. And then this just helps you shore out, you know, your spell chain count in the, like, late game. And then you have your big boss monsters. And then I wanted a Truths as well, because I felt like if the Merlin, you know, if you're going, like, if you have, like, a really late D-shift, or you have to, like, double D-shift someone because they're on a control deck, you're able to use this to make your Merlin go represent quite a bit of damage, up to, what is that, 10 damage? Because you would snap it back. So, like, basically you would, like, turn 9 D-shift, then on turn 10 you would go Merlin, search Truths, D-shift again, and then you would do the Truths plus the Merlin Evo on the following turn. And this is, like, against, like a heavy heal deck like Lysina, where you need to get a lot of pieces together in order to make the big push. But outside of that, yeah, it's a general D-shift deck. You guys have seen this a million times. I still, to this moment, don't know if this is, like, extremely playable, but I know if you look on the website, Shadowverse, Evolve, decks, if we look here, and we look at what topped, I think it was Jakarta, Indonesia. Was this one Lysina, or was this one? No, it's Sydney, Australia. It was Sydney, Australia. I'm sorry, guys, I haven't done this in a while. I've been thinking a lot about the meta. Yeah, Lysina. How many people were at this one? 1.16. It's quite a few, isn't it? It's like 90. Is that 90 players? Around that? $86 players in Jakarta. So you do that by, like, I'm pretty sure that's how you do that. 100 divided by 1.16. 86 players in Jakarta. Oshina got first, but Sydney, Australia. I mean, I know this one was like a much smaller one. This is like 2%. This is like 33 player event. And we see Kuon got first. Very close. I mean, it's got more Merlins and the 2 of this card. I think that's wrong. But yeah, so I didn't think Kuon was out of it. I brought it. I think it's probably fucking trash. Maybe don't break Kuon. But yeah, that's what I chose, and your boy didn't make it to Worlds this year, so it is what it is. Looking forward to making more content for you guys going forward, and until then, it's your boy Dean signing out.